A young woman from Essex left for a relaxed drink on a lovely December evening in Auckland with someone she had met via a dating app. Over the past few months, she had been traveling through South America and sharing her experiences with friends and family. She vanished within hours, and a search involving 2 countries revealed lies, violence, and a family's worst nightmare. Grace Emmy Rose Millane was born in 1996 in Wickford, Essex. David and Gillian Millane's youngest child, who had 2 older brothers, raised herself. People who knew her well said she was kind, creative, and friendly. She intended to start a job in marketing following a year of travel and majored in marketing and advertising at Lincoln University. Before she left, she cut her long hair and donated it to the Little Princess Trust, which helps kids who are being treated for cancer. Grace departed the United Kingdom in October 2018 and toured South America over several weeks. She subsequently traveled to New Zealand in November and landed in Auckland on the 30th of November. She stayed in the city centre's Base Backpackers Hotel, shared a room with other tourists, and kept recording her travels for her family. She matched with a guy on Tinder on December 1st, and they set up a date. She had a little purse and white shoes, wearing a black knee-length dress. The 2 met at the Sky City complex and had a drink at a bar. Then they moved to the Bluestone Room. CCTV footage captured them laughing and buying drinks. The man reached into her purse at one point. They left arm in arm about 9:30 p.m., heading for the City Life Hotel. Cameras captured their hotel entry. Grace was never seen exiting. Her 22nd birthday was the next day. Friends and family called and texted, but her phone didn't respond. Her parents and her brother Declan started to worry more and more. Grace usually replied quickly and was close to her family. Her parents called the authorities in Auckland after she failed to connect. Officers went to the hostel on December 5th and discovered her belongings. Staff members confirmed she had not returned that evening, which raised worries. Investigators started going over CCTV footage taken around the city. Detectives recognized the man Grace had met as they went over the tapes. He had commented on her updated Facebook profile picture the night she vanished. Jesse Kempson was his name. Born in Wellington in 1992, he had lived in many different houses following his parents' divorce and long stretches with grandparents. Those acquainted with him claimed he misrepresented his social history, employment, and family relationships. He told friends he was a manager and said he was connected to well-known rugby players. Actually, he was on government assistance and resided at the City Life Hotel without a job. Former property owners described him as a habitual liar who fabricated stories about being a professional athlete or having a serious illness. Once people learned his lies, he lost his job and his place to live. Police questioned Kempson on December 5th. He informed investigators that he had supper with Grace and parted at about 10 p.m. He insisted that they only met in public places, saying he walked in one direction. At the same time, she went in the other, and he was worried about being tricked by strangers online. He asked whether he was being arrested during the interview and volunteered to provide a DNA sample. He said Grace had left of her own will and that nothing out of the ordinary had occurred. Detectives kept looking at CCTV evidence. Together, they saw Kempson and Grace approaching the City Life Hotel and using an elevator to reach his level. Grace stayed. Kempson was seen departing alone from the hotel early the following day. Cameras monitored Kempson's actions over the following 2 days. He hired a car after buying cleaning supplies and large luggage. Using Tinder, he met another lady and said disturbing comments regarding burying bodies and having police contacts. Later, he hired a carpet cleaning machine, saying that he had spilled wine, then loaded 2 large suitcases into the rental vehicle. Early on the 3rd of December, he bought a shovel at a hardware store and headed to a secluded location close to the Waitakere Ranges. He drove the rental car back to the hire agency and discarded items in various city bins. He came to the lobby and tried to avoid the police who returned to the hotel on December 5th to talk with him once again. Officers arrested him and looked through his room. Despite efforts to clean them, blood stains remained visible on the rug. Forensic experts later connected the blood to Grace Millane. Detective tracked his trail to the Waitakere Ranges using rental car documents and phone records. Police found Grace's body about 10 meters from Scenic Drive near the Waitakere Reservoir on December 8th in a suitcase. They confirmed their belief that the body was Grace through a press conference. The body was officially named the day after. A pathologist concluded that strangulation had killed her and that her bruises matched being pinned down. Between 4 and 5 minutes, her neck had sustained strain. The pathologist also confirmed there were no major injuries to Kempson to support his later claims of a struggle. News of Grace's passing stunned Britain and New Zealand. Hundreds of people turned out for vigils around New Zealand. Flowers and candles were laid as tributes, accompanied by messages of sympathy for her family. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern officially apologized to Grace's parents, stating their daughter ought to have been safe. Grace's father, David, went to Auckland and requested information alongside Detective Inspector Scott Beard. He described his daughter as an outgoing, cheerful person who kept daily contact with her family and would never vanish voluntarily. Although the search had terminated in death, the family's suffering was not over by any means. Kempson was interviewed again following his arrest. He claimed that his story had changed and that he and Grace had had consensual violent sex under the influence of adult books. She asked him to choke her, he said, and he went into the shower and fell asleep. He returned to the bedroom to find her dead, he reported. He said he panicked, hid her body in a suitcase and buried it. He said he didn't plan to hurt her. Professionals and researchers dismissed this version. They noted that it would have been impossible to sleep through a death of this nature and that the constant pressure needed to kill her could not have been unintentional. Data from his phone indicated he researched large fires, flesh-eating animals, and the scene where he thereafter concealed the body. After Grace passed away, he also watched inappropriate content and took explicit photographs of her. Later, the court heard that he bought a shovel to get rid of the body, rented a car, and requested cleaning materials. On December 8th, Kempson was accused of murder. Initially, his name was hidden to guarantee a just trial. In November 2019, he faced trial at the High Court in Auckland. The prosecution showed witnesses to his tendency to lie and manipulate, and presented evidence that he intentionally strangled Grace, wiped the crime scene, and tried to hide her body. The defense contended he panicked as a result of consensual rough sex. 5 hours of deliberation led the jury to unanimously convict. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum sentence without parole of 17 years in February 2020. The judge described him as physically dominating and observed that Grace was vulnerable. The court emphasized his heartlessness in that he continued with his usual activities after her death, including arranging another date. Later in the year, Kempson went through 2 other trials without a jury. According to an ex-partner, he physically, sexually, and emotionally abused her, including choking her and holding knives to her throat. Another woman, a British visitor he encountered on Tinder 8 months before murdering Grace, testified before the court that he raped her and threatened to kill her family should she resist. He was sentenced to additional prison time after being found guilty of these attacks. These actions showed a pattern of violent behavior and exploitation of women. They also squashed the idea that Grace Millane's murder was a one-off event. Kempson challenged his murder conviction and sentence. The Court of Appeal rejected his appeal on December 18, 2020. He then applied to the Supreme Court, claiming that consent should be a defense. The Supreme Court denied his petition on 29 June 2021, noting that there was no convincing proof that Grace agreed to be strangled and that a person cannot consent to violence likely to result in death. With this judgment, he gave up his efforts to have the judgment set aside. He next challenged the convictions for the sexual crimes against the other 2 women, but his appeals were also rejected. November 2020 saw Grace's father, David, pass away from cancer. To give handbags loaded with basic goods to women leaving violent relationships, Gillian Millane and the family started the Love Grace initiative. By late 2023, it had assisted over 15,000 survivors. Gillian and cousin Hannah O'Callaghan were awarded OBEs in the New Year Honours 2024 for their work. The case highlighted the problem of shifting blame onto victims of violence and brought to light how the media and courts treat them. For sexual gratification, Section 72 of the Domestic Abuse Act 2021 clarifies that no one can consent to severe damage or death. The law seeks to stop defendants from lowering their responsibility by alleging rough sex. Grace's killing highlights how crucial respect and safety are in partnerships. By learning from her experience and fighting against violence, society honors her memory. Share your ideas in the comments, like the video if it was helpful, and subscribe for more true crime stories. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.